GH Dog TV, your number one TV for all dog lovers.
My name is Samuel Gatti of Rockview, Kenya. Keep watching GH Dog TV.
Greetings, dog lovers. My name is Solowan. You can call me the dog blogger, and this is GH Dog TV, your number one dog TV for all dog lovers. If this is your first time of watching a video on this channel, you kindly subscribe to our channel and then you hit on the notification bell icon for exclusive and amazing dog content. And you can also check out our social media handles on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at GH Dog Blogger, and also our official website at www.ghdogblogger.com. This program is proudly sponsored by Eminent Dog Feed and Puppy Milk. You want the right dog feed for your dogs? You have puppies, you want puppy milk? Just link up with Eminent Dog Feed and Puppy Milk now. Their number is 0244-820-350. Today on my show, you're going to love it. You're going to learn a whole lot of things. Yes, my guest for today is a very special person, and I'm very glad to have him on the show. So without wasting much of your time, let's go for a quick break. We'll be back shortly. My name is Solowan. You can call me the dog blogger. Looking for a complete, balanced, and highly nutritious feed for your dogs? Then your answer is here. Feed Eminent. Carefully composed and filled with a high level of protein of animal origin, Eminent Dog Feed provides your dogs with the adequate amount of energy to keep them in the perfect condition. Contact Eminent Dog Feed on 0244-820-350. Looking for quality? Feed Eminent. Okay, welcome back from the quick break. Just as I told you earlier on, today my guest for the show is going to throw out a lot of knowledge. And today, if you're somebody who has been aspiring to become a dog trainer, this is the right video for you. Today, my guest for the show is Mr. Kenneth Singah. Yes, one of Ghana's top dog trainers, and trust me, today's show is going to be lovely. And today's current location, we are at Chado. Yes, my current location is Chado in the Greater Accra region, and this place you are seeing right here is the Kenneth Singah Dog Training Academy and Career Incorporation. Allow me to introduce my guest for today's show. Boss, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. My name is Kenneth Singah, a professional dog trainer.
Nice one. I think we've actually been planning to let this happen, but then we always have something that comes up.
Yeah, I know. Usually something comes up at the end of every time you plan for something, so it's fine. And I'm happy it's happening today, so I'm very grateful and thank you for coming. And I think I say hi to your viewers, and I wish everybody will enjoy this interview. Yes. Thank you.
For sure. I have the boss man himself right here. So, boss, let's start by getting up close, and then we'll talk about this academy, and we'll check out a lot of action. I know my lovely viewers can't wait to check out a lot of demonstration from the boss man, Kenneth Singah. I'd like to get up close with you. I'd like you to introduce yourself to my lovely viewers once again, and how you developed love for dogs.
Okay. Yes. To start with, like I said, my name is Kenneth Singah, a professional dog trainer, and my story is very interesting actually, because I grew up in the village, and I was growing up with my grandmom, who usually after school we go to the farm to go and farm, and usually when we are on the way to the farm, she had a local dog, so when we are going to the farm, she just turn around and look at the dog and tell the dog that, look, today you are not going to the farm with us, stay home. The dog would just look at her like this and said, okay, you guys can go. And then we turn and we are going, and then the dog will just go as if he's going to the house and turn around and use a different route and go to the farm. So by the time we get to the farm, the dog is already lying there waiting for us. And my grandma will go like, I told you not to come. Where did you pass and come? And then all what the dog would do is that lay down, raise the legs like, oh, that's me, I'm sorry. Then he will wait for us. We'll finish farming. Then in the evening when we are coming home, the dog will follow us to the house. Then in the evening, when she prepares food and she's about to eat the food, the dog comes to stand in front of her, looking at her like, look, I want some of the food. All what she will say is that, look, if you don't lie down, you won't get food. And the dog will just look at her, and then you see that the dog will just go and lay down quietly, and she would eat, and then whatever is left, then she will go and give it to the dog. So sometimes, because the dog obey her, like her command, she reserves some of the food, even if she's not satisfied, and go and give it to the dog. So this was happening all the time, and I was very fascinated anytime it's happening. So after school, I came to Accra, and I was looking for a houseboy job to do, just to get a houseboy job to do. And then one of my uncle told me that, somebody is looking for some boys to come and help him in his house as a houseboy, and then to help clean the house and then help take care of his dogs. Then quickly I jumped up. I said, I would like to do. And then the man said, okay, so tomorrow come, I'll take you to the man. So he took us there, and the person in today is Honorable George Anda. So when he took us there, we met him, and then he said, this is what I do. I breed dogs, and I train them, and I sell. And I'm looking for boys who will come, help me, take them out for a walk them on the street, come and clean them up, clean their place, feed them, and all that stuff. So we were actually two guys who went. So when he said that, I said, yeah, I would do it. The other guy looked at me, and then he also said, yes, he would do it. So he said, okay, if we would do, then we should go and prepare and pack our things and come back. So when we came out of his house and we were going, then the other boy looked at me and said, no, he's not coming to clean dog poop and shit and that stuff. And I said, okay, no problem. I will come. So when we got back home, boys, he went and told all my friends around my area in Labadi that we went to look for a job, and all what they are asking us to do is to clean dog shit, poop, bath them. And he even added an extra thing, which I don't know where it's coming from, that we brush their teeth and everything. So the guys were all making fun of me, going to brush dog teeth and clean their poop. So the next day, he said he's not going. I said, okay. So I took my bag and everything, went, met George, and then he introduced me to the dogs. And then there was another guy there already called Kobra Martin. He introduced me to him and tell him that, look, I'm coming to help him take care of the dogs. And that was the start of it. Then we were taking care of them, taking them out for a walk, coming back. And then occasionally he will come and then train them. And then whilst he's training, we are watching and we are monitoring, and we are assisting him in the training. So then I realized that, look, this thing was very interesting, because to tell the dog sit and he will sit, tell the dog down and he will down, stay and he will stay. And then when you are doing the protection work, the agitation, the dog is, and by then he had two dogs, Shaba and Queen. These were Dobermans, very vicious dogs. And when they are attacking, you will love it. So when he's doing the protection work with those dogs, I stand and I admire so much. And he put a lot of energy in it. George was doing it, he himself. By then he had completed tech. So what I asked myself is that if somebody have completed university, tech, and he's doing this, he's training dogs, he comes to help us take the dogs out for a walk on the street. Who am I? An SS leaver? Wouldn't want to do it. I would do it because at the end, I'm earning a living. So we started doing it, and I developed so much interest. So sometimes when he is not there, I would do the training myself. Where I fall short, or maybe where I don't understand, when he comes, I tell him that I was doing this and it's not happening. So in the course of doing that, I was even trying to do things that he hasn't even taught us to do, just to make sure that at least I'm able to do it. And I was doing it, so it was going well. Then one day, I said, I want to demonstrate what I've been training the dog for. And then I did it, and he said, oh, wow, that's good. It means you have interest. So I realized that yes, this was a very good thing. Then one day I was writing a letter to one of my cousins in the village, telling him that when I came to Accra, to my parents, this is the job I'm doing, and I like it. I think I can develop this to a highest ground. I should be able to take this high. So whilst I was writing the letter, I was sitting in his hall, and then suddenly he came home and blew the horn. So I left the letter there and I ran to go and open the gate for him. So when he came, he went straight to the hall and he saw the letter there. Then he picked the letter he was reading. He said, "Ken, so did you write this?" I said, "Yes." "What happened?" I said, "Oh, I'm enjoying the work." So I'm writing to my cousin that, look, this is what I'm doing and I'm enjoying the work very well. And I would like to develop this to a higher standard. He went like, "Oh, okay, so it means you like what you are doing." I said, "Yes, sir, I like it." So that was it. Then I said, no, I must go more into this. So I started working with him, training all the time. We even did it up to a point that we were able to develop a security company out of it, because every weekend, those days, these foreign dogs were not common. So every weekend, people come to the house just to come and look at the dogs, come and look at the training. And sometimes when people come, they will give us some tips when they come and we do the training, and they are happy and they are very when they are going some small thing. So I was even making money out of that. So I was always praying that weekend will come, Saturday will come, and people will come, and then Charlie we'll get something from there. And
Around which year are we talking about right now, if you can recall?
that was 96, 97. 96, 97, yes. And those days, foreign dogs were not common. So even when we are walking the dogs on the street, people were looking, "Hey, look at the dog and look at the dog." And I was like, really? So it looks like people were pointing at me and pointing at dogs, and I was so happy about it. So in the evening, we take the dogs for a walk, come back home, and then feed them and go. So this was happening, and I was enjoying it actually. So we trained the dogs to a point that I said, "Oh, if we have these dogs that have been trained, why can't we do security?" And people were requesting. So we actually developed a security company with dogs, and we were running it until it got to a point that I was like, okay, I think where I've gotten to, I would need to probably resign and start doing it on my own. So I actually told him that I want to resign in 3 months' time, because I felt he has done something good for me, and I cannot just get up and tell him I'm leaving. Just no, it doesn't order well. I know he enjoyed my work, because I was somebody who was always thinking ahead and making sure that I would be able to do what he wants. So I told him 3 months' time I'll be resigning. I know he wasn't happy with it, because but initially he thought it was a joke. I was not gonna go anywhere. But then in a month time again, I reminded him and I said, "Look, I want you to check and make sure that everything is okay. Nothing is lost, nothing is missing, and then I can go, because I want to go with a good name, not with a bad name. And I don't want to leave just because tomorrow I don't know where I will be." So that is it. So in fact, people thought he was my brother, because the way he was a very good person. So even after I left and I went to school, Kofi Polytechnic, I would still run from Kofi Polytechnic and come weekend, come and train his dogs, bath them and do everything. And he was very good. When I come weekend like this, man, he would give me money to go back to school. He was actually taking care of me like his brother. So even up to some time, some people always think that I'm related to him, but not like a worker, because he was being very good person to me. So from there, then when the date came, then I resigned and I started doing my own thing, small. And then I asked myself, if I'm doing this, why don't I upgrade myself? Because I know there are dog training schools in the US, in other countries. Why don't I upgrade myself? So my first thing was to look around if there are dog training schools in West Africa or anywhere in Africa here that I can attend. When I checked, there was none. And then I checked South Africa. So I went to South Africa. I went to some of the places that they have the schools there, and I realized that there was none of them that was up to what I was looking at doing. So I came back and I applied to a school in the US, and then they accepted me. They sent me the acceptance letter and everything, and I went. God being so good, the interviewer at the American embassy, the consulate, just looked at me and then told me that, look, you are 1 in a million. Wow. And I said, why? He said, look, everybody comes here, they're looking for student visa, they're going for business, blah, blah. Nobody comes and say, look, I'm going for skills development. Yeah. And this, your area, is first time we're getting it in the embassy. Somebody coming to say, I'm going to learn dog training and come. And we think, yes, we the experts here, we have dogs. We would love to have somebody who have developed it well to be able to do it. So you are good to go. Pick up your visa on Monday in the afternoon. And I was like, wow. Thank you. Good luck. Bye-bye. And I left. And when it was time, I went to pick my visa, and then I went to the US to go and learn. I went there. I went through the course very well. My director was actually happy with me because coming from Africa to come and learn dog training over there. We went on practicals, and then there was even another white man who had his dog, and I assisted him train the dog, and he went like, so why are you going back to Africa? Do they know that they have to train their dogs? Why don't you stay here? You can make good money here. And truly, he was charging very good money. So he wanted me to be assisting him. And I shook my head and I said, no, I'm going back to Africa. He said, why? You can make money here. And I told him that, you know what, I came from there. And I'm happy you said whether they know that they have to train their dogs or not. Now, it is my duty to go back there and assist them and let them know that they have to train their dogs. So if I come and stay here, then who is going to do that job? The question that you ask, it will continue to be there, no answer for it. But you ask because you need answer for it. So I should be the solution to that problem. So that is why I'm going back. And the man looked at me and said, wow, you might be crazy. And I said, no problem, I'm not crazy. So after the course, I was assisting some of them a little, like with training and all that stuff. All of them wanted me. Even as at now, one of them was asking me to come and we acquired dog training school and ran it. And I told him that, look, I have so much in Africa I'm doing, and I don't think I would want to leave and come there. If I come there, I'm coming to make money. But that is not my goal. My goal has been to assist people who really need what you are doing. So I have young guys who are understudying me, who are working with me. If I leave now, that's the end of their career. That's the end of them. So I would have to pursue my own interest for money and punish these people, which is not right. So I just told myself that no, I'm not doing it. Even as at now, the guy is ready. He's waiting. If I said today I'm going. Yes. So I came back and I started doing it. I started even with group classes. People were coming with their dogs at the trade fair, and we were training together. They bring their dogs, and I even organized a dog fun day out where people came with their dogs. We had fun. We did some mini competitions. It was nice. And interestingly, we had our own local dogs winning that competition. Wow. And I was so happy. And funny enough, it was rather a white person, an expatriate, who was rather owning these dogs and taking good care of them and making sure that she was coming to the class consistently. So when it was time for the competition, she cleared all the things. So she got the best dog in the competition. So it tells us that at least our local dogs to have something good for us, that if we can take good care of them, they would take us somewhere.
So, Mr. Singah, I'm talking about you getting into the dog training in around 1996. Those days, even the other breeds, should I say the foreign breeds, were not very common. And you took it upon yourself to be a dog trainer. I think at that time, if you had told maybe a friend or a relative that you wanted to be a dog trainer, they would have said, what is this guy saying? How was it like, and what really motivated you to pursue this career?
Yes, like I said, one of the motivation in this career was that I was getting the chance to meet people, high-class people, because they were the very people buying dogs for their homes and security. So people that I was meeting, I was like, wow, I get the chance to meet ABC, who is difficult. It will be difficult for you to get the chance to meet him. Take, for instance, I had the chance to sit one-on-one with Kofi Annan to have tea in the morning and to discuss his dogs, which I couldn't have had that opportunity. And I have him with his dogs in the picture. It was in the morning. He said, Ken, come over. I came. He said, look, let's have tea together. When I showed that picture to one of my clients, they went like, Ken, you know what, please, this one, I'm just going to beg you for an honor. I said, what is it? You know, the next time you are going to train his dogs, I beg you, just so that when we get there, tell him that I'm one of your dog training assistants, because I just want to meet this man in my life before I die. And she made me feel so great, like, this is somebody struggling, trying in anything at all to meet this man. And I had the opportunity to meet him like that, as if an ordinary person. I was so not only him, I've met so many people in my life that I wouldn't have had the chance to meet them if it hadn't been this dog training thing. And that is one of my motivations. There is another aspect of it, which is a motivation to me. Why? Because I have love for dogs. I have a soft spot for dogs. And I'll show you one of a dog that the owner wanted to put down. And I took that dog, though it's old and everything, I took it home and I told him, you won't put this dog down. I'll keep it. And the dog is doing well. The last time I sent him a video of the dog, he shook his head. He said, is that the dog? I said, yes. So I have that soft spot for dogs, and I feel like if I go out of it, a lot of innocent dogs would die. A lot of dogs will be thrown onto the streets. Take it for nothing at all or good at all. I have been able to help people correct their dog behavior, which they would have thrown those dogs out on the street because of bad behavior. And mostly, people don't understand that it is not the dog, but it is you, the owner. So my duty is to let people understand that, look, it's not always the dog, but it's you, the owner. Why? Because he is a dog. That is a dog, the animal. He has his own way of behaving. Now you adopt him. You want him to come and live with you. You should be able to make time and educate the dog, put the dog right to be able to understand you. But we bring them and we expect that they should understand us. They are animal. If you leave him out on the street, he will behave the way he has to behave as an animal. That's it. So he wouldn't be a problem to you. But once you bring it home, if he has some problems and you are not helping the dog to solve them, the dog will have to figure a way out to solve them. And even taking it in relation to human beings. If I bring you home and I don't help you, I don't tell you that, oh, that's the toilet, that's the washroom, that's your bed. When you feel like sleeping, you might just sleep on the ground, which I don't think that is right. So I will be seeing you as a problem because you sleep on the ground in my house, which I don't want. But it is my duty to let you know that this is your bed, this is your room, this is the washroom. Open this door and you go in there and that's it. So if I don't do all these things, if you feel like urinating, you find somewhere and urinate. You understand? So these are things that happens. So when people take dogs or adopt dogs or buy dogs, they don't invest time in making sure that they educate the dog what to do and what not to do. We call it rules and boundaries in the house. So when you don't set all these things, you leave the dog, he would have to always solve his own problem. So in the quest of solving his own problem, it becomes a problem to we the human beings. So we complain that my dog is doing that, my dog is doing that. I met one client before. The main complaint was that my dog is jumping on me all the time. And I said, okay, I'm coming over. I went over. Truly, the dog jumped on him. And what he did was that when the dog jumped, he was laughing and he was caressing the dog. So what are you doing here? You are encouraging the behavior. But he doesn't want it. He don't want it. But he's praising, he's like laughing and caressing the dog. You are communicating to the dog that this behavior is fine. That's the communication you're sending to the dog. You understand? But it's something that you don't want. So you should be able to correct it. So now if you are sending negative signal to the dog, or you are sending a signal that is encouraging the behavior, you don't expect the dog to stop. Then you turn around and say it's a bad dog. It's misbehaving. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. No. You have to teach him. Just like bringing your child up, you have to guide. So if we don't do these things, then yes, of course, we have a lot of bad dogs. People term them as bad dogs and throw them onto the street. And this is what I think I am made for, to make sure that I correct some of these things. And besides that, I feel there's more blessing from taking care of animals. Because, and I would say that as I sit here today, I feel I'm blessed because I have dogs that I'm taking care of. I would have one time asked myself, could I have even feed myself? Not to even talk about feeding dogs. And I have more than 10 to 15 dogs. So sometimes I ask myself, where is the money coming from to feed them? They are like human beings. They also have their God that they pray. We don't see those things. You understand? But once you take good care of them from the bottom of your heart, you would always get your blessings.
Okay, Mr. Singah, just as you were going on talking about the dog training and all, I'd like you to hit hard on the relevance of dog training, why people should get their dogs trained, and also why people should keep dogs in general.
Yes, thank you for this question. And I think, first of all, I'll take the reason why people buy dogs or people keep dogs. And it can be categorized into like 3 or 4 reasons. And for me, one of the reasons why people buy dogs could be economic reasons. Economic reasons in the sense that maybe you are a young guy, I'm a young guy, he's a young guy, cameraman is a young guy, everybody's a young guy. I decided to go into breeding and I'm selling. And yes, you feel like, oh, Kenneth is making money out of dog sale. He's selling puppies. Maybe selling puppy for 2,000, 3,000. He's making money. So at the end, because probably you see this, you also go and buy a dog just for business. So that's economic. So you don't have much to do with the dog, apart from you thinking of making money from it as a business. That's economic reason why somebody will go and buy a dog. The other thing will be social status. Social status in the sense that maybe, let's take for instance, the late Kofi Annan had these 2 Labradors, very nice black Labradors. Maybe if every Saturday, Sunday, he's walking with them at his charlotte or at the beach and everybody admires, you see him every time playing with his dog, you go like, oh, look, I want Kofi Annan's dog, because you want to feel like you want to look like him. You want, you see, social status, like you want people to feel like you are at his level. There are so many breeds. There are certain breeds that people just classify them for the riches, for the rich people, and they classify them for a certain class of people. So you want to belong to that social status class of people that you feel. So that is one of the reasons why somebody will get a dog. And apart from that, we have the security reason, which is almost like predominating everything, because people buy dogs because of security reason. And in our part of the world, what we feel is that people are always scared of dogs. So even if you buy a dog, once it's a dog in your house, you feel more safe and secure. So this is one of the reasons people buy dogs. So these days, even when you go to almost every good house, there's a dog there just for security reason. The other part of it could be religious, because there are certain people who believe that when you have a dog, it protects you from evil spirits, spiritual attacks, and all those things. Why? Because what the dog can see, what the dog can feel, what the dog can smell, you cannot be close to it. So when you have the dog, all these things, they wouldn't be able to, there wouldn't be some spiritual attack on you and on all those things. Also, people have them because they feel like look, this is an animal and I need to take care of it because it doesn't have mother, it doesn't have father. I need to make sure that, yes. So people will buy dogs based on that reason again. So these are some of the reasons why people would acquire dogs. Now, coming to the significance or the importance of training. Yes, we all understand that dogs are animals, different from us. But because of the because of the relationship between man and dog from Genesis, there have been that kind of close relationship with man and dog. So we have always had interest in having dog as our partner. So now you want to have somebody as a partner, you should be able to understand each other. You should be able to communicate with each other. So now this is an animal, you are a human being. How do you live together? How do you cooperate with one another? That one will come out of the training. Because if you are my friend and maybe I am mumui and you can speak and I'm like deaf. So when you speak, I can't hear, I can't even understand what you are saying. It's either you will tend to adopt my hand signals. So at the end, if we are so close friends, at the end you will realize that even when I start making hand signals, you understand. You get it. So this is what would happen. So at the end, it's either you are training me or I am training you. Because I would also be forced to always look at your lips. So the movement of your lips will help me tell what you are saying. And then now, me being the mumui and the deaf and dumb, my hand signals will tell you what I am saying. So at the end, one of us is training the other. So this is what happens with dog and man. If you don't train the dog will train you. Because what the dog will do is either you let the dog understand that this is what I want, this is how I want it. Otherwise, the dog will teach you how he wants it. And you might have to go by that. You understand? Take, for instance, some people don't like the dog to jump on them. But if they cannot correct it, you have to live with it. You have to embrace it. So you are coming home and you know that, look, my dog would jump on me. So now the dog have trained you that you have to accept that he has to jump on you. Simple. Instead of you training him to understand that you don't have to jump on me, now the dog trains you to understand that he has to jump on you because you can't correct it. You can't do anything about it. You have to live by it because the dog is a necessary thing in your life. You understand? So this is why dog need to be trained, so that the two of you, dog and man, can peacefully coexist and live in harmony, understand each other. So when we're talking about training, you have to make sure that at least you let the dog know and understand the things you want. That's all about it. Once the two of you can communicate that easily, then that is what we call training. Otherwise, if you take a dog, naturally that dog can sit. Naturally that dog can lie down. Naturally that dog can sit there and stay there and ignore everybody. You understand? Naturally the dog can do all those things. But what makes it a training is when you request that sit and he sits, down and he goes down, stay here, don't move, and you go over there and come. That is what it is, training. Otherwise, the dog can do all those things on his own will. So are you getting the difference here now? So that is the main difference here. So the difference in training is you being able to communicate to the dog for the dog to understand and obey. Otherwise, what the dog is doing, he can do all those things on his own volition, on his own will. So that is why people need to ensure that their dogs are trained so that they can communicate with each other effectively and peacefully live together.
Now, Mr. Singah, we'll be wrapping up the interview very soon, and then we'll check out the dogs, we'll check out the demonstrations and all of that. But then before we go, I'd like you to tell us something about this academy you've set up right here. Very beautiful. I came here and then they were having lectures here, and personally, as I was seated here, I've also learned a lot of things right here when you were talking about the dog handling and all of that. So I'd like you to say something about this academy as well, and then you leave out your contact details and the procedure if somebody wants to be in this academy and all of that.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is a dog training academy that I am setting up. I'm still setting up. I'm not done yet. What I realize is that I have a vast knowledge about dogs. And what it is that, like I said, I have not been the kind of selfish person. I know I have so much knowledge, and I understand that one day when I die, I go with this knowledge. And I know that people are out there would want to know what I know. So I set this up to be able to teach the young ones or those who are coming, give out some of my knowledge. I know there are people out there who will even be better than me. I haven't even gone half of what I have to do. But I know there are people there who would do better, far, far better than me, if they get the opportunity. So I am setting up this school to give people opportunity to be able to build a career in this and excel beyond where I am now. That is my goal here, so that I would impact onto people what I know and encourage them to go higher above me, because I cannot be forever. A time will come I wouldn't have much energy to do what I am doing now, and I will be happy that somebody gone through me and is doing it. And like I said, this is going to be a formal one. There have been a couple of guys who have worked under me, who have gone through my hands, and today they are doing well. And I think one of them is Kelvin, and another guy, Tola, and Florin, and all those things. There are a lot of guys, not formal as a school, they come and know, but through working with me, telling them what to do and what not to do, they've been able to also, and they are making a living on it. And I am quite happy that this is happening. And I wish to create more dog trainers in the system, where in the future, what it has to be is that I will sit down and see dog competition going on in Ghana here. And like I was saying, like you asked the other question, one of the reasons people will get a dog is for competition. I go and buy a dog because I want to compete. And when my dog does best, I'm always everywhere. Look, that's the guy with the best dog in the country, clearing all the competition. So there are so many reasons why people buy dogs. So I wish that in the future we'll have a lot of dog trainers in the system, where we have a dog show and we can all be thrilled on our seats with the kind of performance dogs are doing, and we will smile.
Nice one. So what are some of the things you teach here?
Here, in fact, I have 3 categories of class. I have the professional dog trainers, which is going to be like behavior and distance modification. Then I have the protection training group, which they come and they learn to become decoy. And a decoy is that he is a helper. So when I train the dog for obedience, I also employ him to come and do the decoy work for me, the agitation and all that. And the decoy, again, not only to me, but when there is competition, they are being brought out to come and do the decoy work, and they charge for that. Yes. And then I have canine handling courses, which is just for people who are to be handling dogs for security agencies. Like I've set up now. I've set up a security company, and I'm training the guys. I think you met them here when they were being taught how to handle dogs, the things they need as a dog handler, the features and characteristics of a good dog handler, and all those things. Yes. So that's one of the courses. I know very soon most of the security companies would be using dogs, as I've started, and some of them were already doing. They'll be using dogs to do their work, and these people can come here and learn how to handle dogs. So I have already done one program for Intercon, They brought their gas and I trained them how to handle, and they are out there, they handling dogs. I'm always happy to do these things. And I know in the future, we'll have a lot of people being able to take care of dogs and handle dogs properly in our system.
Mr. Kenneth, just in case somebody wants to link up with you, your contact details, social media, I'd like you to drop it out.
Okay, so like I said, my name is Kenneth Singah. My phone number is 0244 769254. And then if you go to Facebook, Kenneth Singah, you'll find it. Instagram, Kenneth Singah, you'll find me. Yes, so this is how you can contact me.
Nice one, lovely viewers. He just dropped out his contact. Reach out to him. If you want to be a dog trainer, you want to pass through some of these handling courses, everything, this is the right place. This is the right place to be. Trust me. Just give him a call, contact him, and then link up. You want to advise anything, just link up with Kenneth Singah. Bossman, we are about to get to the other part where we check out the dogs and the demonstrations and everything. But before we go, I'd like you to say your final words and advice to upcoming dog trainers as well.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. And I think what I would say to the upcoming dog trainers and potential dog trainers, my focus is actually on the potential dog trainers. Learn to do it right. Don't just jump onto the streets and start doing anything, because dogs are dear to their hearts. And if you go and you try to do something with somebody's dog which you have no knowledge, and you ruin that dog, the person would not let you go free. It's just unfortunate that our part of this world, people don't really take these things seriously. And the saying "Jainanka" actually happens. But out there, or you might even meet somebody who would not understand Jainanka, and they will take you to court and fine you heavily for ruining their dog. So I would ask that if you want to do this, it's a very good career. You can develop it to the peak of it. There are so many opportunities in the dog industry. You can learn dog training to become just a dog photographer. You go around shooting people puppies for them to put on the internet for sale. You can learn this and then become like an obedient dog trainer. You go around training people dogs. You can learn this to manage somebody's pet shop, become the pet shop manager because you understand dogs. You can learn this, interestingly, to go and create a dog cemetery somewhere where people lost their dear dogs, and they will come and buy a space and bury the dog and always come and put flowers there. Like I said, you can even learn this to start writing dog training books. So it's a big space for everybody. So I remember one time one young man just walked in here and was asking me, but dog training, is it good? Is that a good business? Is there space? It looked like a choke. And I smiled. So when I was taking him through some of this things, I said, look, let's not always focus on what is happening. Think out of the box. Think out of the box. There's so much that we can all do. So don't think because what you are seeing, that's the limit and that's the end of it. So you can't, no. You can go further than that. There's so much. You can even be a kennel manager. Somebody set up a kennel somewhere and you are the manager there. It's all part because you have knowledge about dogs. So you get the opportunity to be employed. If not employed, yes, you can set it up. So we shouldn't be limited with some of these things. And like I said, when they learn it properly, they can do it properly and they can go higher. There's no end to this. We know people who have made so much money in this dog training thing and dog business thing. People are making so much money. There was a movie, I don't know whether you've heard about it, Rentintin. Yes, Rentintin saved a movie industry from going bankrupt. Because the man was like I've forgotten his name, but he wasn't getting proper movies. But one day when he went to a dog show, one army man who brought these dogs from France, Rentintin and then the sister died in the ship because of the journey, and Rentintin survived, and he took Rentintin to America, and he was able to display in a dog show. The movie director just approached him and said, look, your dog was doing fantastic. Can you come and perform again? Let us see. I'll pay you $300. He paid $300. The man came to perform with the dog. He said, wow, I'll write a script. He wrote a script. Rentintin acted very well. The man started getting back into business. He was making so much money from it. And Ren Tin Tin have so many movies. So we can't limit ourselves. So like you are doing, I know you can go more than this. You will get to the highest of it. So don't limit yourself. As you do, you still think out of the box and you get to the peak of it. That's my only advice to all the youth.
Nice one, lovely viewers. I'm sure you really love the conversation right here. That's too much knowledge for one episode. Trust me, a lot of information being poured out on today's episode on GH Dog TV. We are not done with the episode yet, so stick and stay as we bring to you more. We get to my favorite part. It's action time. Looking for a complete, balanced, and highly nutritious feed for your dogs? Then your answer is here. Feed Eminent. Carefully composed and filled with a high level of protein of animal origin, Eminent dog feed provides your dogs with the adequate amount of energy to keep them in the perfect condition. Contact Eminent Dog Feed on 0244 820 350. Looking for quality? Feed Eminent.